The idea for today's video comes from the comment section. Nathan Dale posed the question, what would happen if we took a Damascus steel ball, this is a regular ball bearing, and we put it inside a steel canister. This is obviously a glass jar. But if we put them in, and then filled the negative space with steel powder and forge welded it together, what would the pattern look like? I wonder if the pattern would look like some crazy space scene with wild planets. Now what's interesting about this is as you cut in, imagine this is 3D, you've taken a slice, boom. As you take another slice, these spheres are gonna become bigger. These circles might become smaller as you get on the back side of them. But like everything is gonna progressively change and expose other little elements of it. No single slice is going to be the same. I wonder what we could do to then make art out of that. But for now, we've got to work out how on earth we make a bunch of Damascus balls. Right, now that's all steel. What do you reckon, Jamie, about us putting some nickel in there? A little extra shine, extra bright.
Sounds naughty.
We've never done this before. Nickel in regular steel Damascus. Oh, that's a handy sized bit, isn't it? There's a thick nickel there, thin nickel there. I actually like that it's kind of offset a little bit. Thin nickel there, here. I lost the bolt, it almost killed me. That bolt came out and the bolt at the back came out as well. Now, we got ourselves a big old rambar. That big old rambar doesn't look a whole lot like one of these balls. It only looks like one of these balls in one plane. We need to make it look like that ball in 2 planes. How? And how, bearing in mind it has to be efficient, I'm gonna need a lot of these balls. I can't just have 2 balls, can't just have 4 balls, even with Jamie's help. This goes beyond what Jamie and I could provide ourselves. We need dozens of balls. The way I see it, there are 3 options. At first, I was thinking, what about we just grind these balls? But that is going to be really time consuming. So then I thought, what if we made the balls with machining equipment? We could turn them, we could mill them. I've seen there are attachments that people make for turning balls in the lathe. I also imagined perhaps using our indexing head and maybe a boring bar over here. With the index head rotating in one direction, this rotating in another, we could cut a sphere. But all those things, to me, seemed like it would take us a good chunk of time per ball. But then this morning it occurred to me, we're in a blacksmith workshop. I could forge these balls. So if we search for forging balls, we can see some of the cool ways it gets done. That big ball under a power hammer, you have 2 negative hemispheres, top and bottom die. It could obviously be done under open dies, just kind of forging it freeform. Check this out. How sick is that? They are literally just slicing them off that bar. Now, just like I was saying, you rotate something in one direction in the lathe, you cut it with a still tool, it makes a cylinder. But if you rotate it one direction while cutting it with something that rotates in the other direction, what does it do? It makes a sphere. Same principle when moving the metal when we're forging it. If I have a bottom die with half a circle in it, a top die with half a circle in it, we put our piece of steel in and rotate it while we hammer, it is going to cut a groove and forge a ball. We conveniently have this set up for insert dies, which sometimes is really annoying, but today is gonna be bloomin' perfect. Let's make up some dies. What the? Bro!
Buy a new truck, man.
Ah! It's meant to be really good. Ooh, that's not meant to go that far down. That line there, that's the line of death. That's how you break one of these power hammers. Let's line these up into the middle. Get in there! Now, I like to put center punch marks on here to make sure that I know which one's the top die, which one is the bottom die. And I think I know what's in this package from my mate Corin, Nyrock Tools. Do you remember the gorgeous scribes and deburrs that he sent me with my dogs? Looking at the customs form here, I've got a little suspicion about what might be inside here. Ooh. Is an incredibly fancy and very beautiful optical center punch. This is a collaboration between Nyrock and Pask Makes. Great YouTube channel, you should check it out. You put this acrylic dowel in there. Let's say you had 2 scribe lines. It magnifies and there is a little circle. Take the acrylic out. This hopefully stays in the same place. That drops over top, whack it with an hammer. I'm very happy to now have an optical center punch. Thank you, Corin. But that isn't the center punch I was actually thinking I needed for this bit of the project right now. So this will go kindly in a drawer, the special Corin drawer. Now grab one of these. 1 center punch up top, 2 center punches on the bottom. I'll mark this up so that we can cut it right down the middle of that hole. Sweet. We're gonna cut some mild steel off and we're gonna test it in different diameters and see what forges the best spheres. We're going to start with 30mm diameter round bar, which is what our Damascus is currently sized to. It's about 1.25 inches for our American friends. Here we go, nice and gentle. I think this is too big. Yeah, definitely too big.
You made like a pumpkin.
Yeah, we don't need no pumpkins. 25mm, this is 1 inch in diameter. Oh, it's better, boys and girls. Yeah, baby. Ah! I went off the die. Look what I did. Yuck. I actually think that's too large a diameter. Still quite pumpkin-like. 20mm diameter, 3/4 inch. Well, I can hardly believe it. 20mm diameter makes a perfect ball. Could that be any better? This needs to be 20mm in diameter. Now we can forge the real ones. Last one. I tell you what, I am so happy that we did not machine these things. Machining this many balls would have taken us a very, 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 very long time. And that is exactly why we like forging. They obviously have their little flying saucers still attached, so they all need to get cut off, and then we've got to grind and smooth them out before we figure out how, as efficiently as possible, we can get the forge scale off of there. So I started off sandblasting, and I just didn't get enough of it off. So we're grinding. It's great. I'm happy. Now that it's been top and tailed and polished up, it looks like we've got half as many spheres as I thought we would have. 29 balls. This is the biggest bit of box section that will fit in the V-dies of the hydraulic press. And to fill up all this negative space and hopefully preserve the roundness of the balls, powder. Oh yeah. It has been a minute since we have done anything with steel powder. It's just so wild. How do they make steel into such a fine powder? Molten steel is poured through a small nozzle and disintegrated by a high pressure gas like nitrogen or argon, breaking the stream into tiny droplets that solidify into fine particles. Ah, sick. This powder is made of good knife steel. It is 1095 powder. So it's a plain carbon steel with 0.95% carbon. It's very similar to the dark layer in our Damascus, which is 1080 or 0.8% carbon. So that's the premise. Suspending Damascus balls in a solid steel powder. I've taken everything out of the can because I've decided that I don't want anything sticking to this mild steel box. So out comes the stainless steel foil. Very recently, we used some white spray paint to avoid the stickage. But in this case, stay away. I'm not feeling it. I don't want the potential off-gassing from that white spray paint to saturate through all of this incredible surface area and cause serious issues. Stainless steel foil isn't going to off-gas the same way, especially once we oxidize it, it's not going to be able to stick. Now we've got to make it settle. Just vibrating it, it has got so solid. When you've just poured it, it's like sand. That compacts down like crazy. I've got the box welded up and I've got a handle on it, but it's actually a breakaway handle. In order to get this to bond nicely, in an ideal world, I'd be able to hit it from all of the sides. We'd be able to take it to the hydraulic press, forge it in the big V dies, then flip it up on end like this, and immediately smush it under the steam hammer a bit to squeeze it that way. You might say, Alec, just use a pair of tongs. There is a challenge with that, which is, got really limited access between these V dies to actually be able to hold it in tongs. This is now ready to go in the forge. While we're spending money getting the forge to heat up, burning that propane, why not think about how you can make your money? The best way to do that is by having a great website to sell your products and showcase your brand, which is why I love our sponsor, Squarespace, because they make it easy peasy. You can sell unlimited physical or digital products. You remember, we recently sold some of our drop forged coins on my Squarespace website, and it was a breeze with all the payment options that our customers had. But you can also use your Squarespace site to showcase your brand, and in our case, showcase Jamie's hard work over the last 4 years of scaring me relentlessly in the workshop.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Jamie. I'm so grateful. Using their handy drag and drop themes, we were able to very quickly embed this compilation of all of his scares into our Squarespace website for your viewing pleasure. Whatever you got going on. Why?
There's one more.
Have really mixed emotions about the fact that I pay you to do that to me. If you sell your time, you can take bookings with Squarespace scheduling. You can even run your email marketing campaigns through your Squarespace site. So please go to squarespace.com/forge. You'll get a 2-week free trial. Give it a shot, see if you love it. And when you do, code FORGE at checkout gets you 10% off your purchases. That includes your domain purchase. Squarespace.com/forge. Let's get back to it. Go time. Oh, she's a hot one. She's cooking. Nice and gently does it, yeah! I do not want to overdo it, deform it too much. I'm going to take one more heat like that, just because I'm moving a bit slow before we break off the handle. I really hope that forging it in square cross-section doesn't deform the spheres into squares, because that would be really a shame. We're trying to make ball Damascus, not cube Damascus. But my hope is that we can do this with the least amount of forging possible. I think I'm going to call it there. We'll try and get the jacket off. Gotta take another slice. Come on, baby. Ah! If you catch it in the light, you can see some balls. There. Let's have a little look-see. Oh my goodness. That is exactly what I was hoping to do. How wild does that look? I think we've done something original for the first time ever. Oh, we just switched out the gator for ferric chloride. How good is that looking?
Wow. You need to put nickel in Damascus more. That looks insane.
Isn't that epic? Look how much that nickel pops. Oh! So we've got a block that is going to have a continuously changing pattern all the way through it. In terms of what we make from it, we also don't get to do crazy deformation. I think the best thing here is to make a cool piece of art. And I'm envisaging a little panorama, a little space panorama out of Damascus steel. So I want to get slices of this pattern and set them side by side, boom, 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 and weld them into a steel tapestry. In order to do that, we need to get the jacket off. And then we need to forge it into a much squarer, neater bar than it is currently, because we cannot have any waste. This can't be going to the mill. We don't have a lot of leeway. That is so nuts. That was powder a few hours ago. How sick is that? Test etch of all these puppies. Oh, I love that one. Look at all the changes in size. Oh, I actually kind of like that one. With only 4 of them. Now we've got to pick all the best orientations. I quite like that. I think that's what we're going with. I'm going to fusion TIG weld up all the seams so that the joint interfaces can't get any more oxygen in them. So this is going to be making a butt weld. We're not going to be hammering in the axis of the joints. We're actually going to be hammering opposite to them. But I have a mild steel plate with little end caps restraining it that'll hopefully allow those joints to stick. Now what I didn't want is I didn't want our lovely slab of Damascus sticking to that mild steel plate, and so we slipped a little bit of stainless foil in between them. It'll stick a little bit, but it won't stick permanently. You can see the little remnants of it there. You can barely see the foil. For me at least, this is brand new. I have never done a butt weld like that, where the joints are like this, but we're hitting like that. Never. But I think I've seen Salem Straub do this. He's a great follow on Instagram if you want to see beautiful work. And so I'm reaching deep into my memory about like one post that I saw years ago in trying to do this weld. I'm hoping that with clean surfaces, hopefully not too much oxygen in there, it's gonna go. But my confidence is not 100%. We're gonna have to see. Pattern looks epic. It looks fairly solid. Here at the ends, where it wasn't perfectly square, with the mild steel blockers, there's definitely a gap, but I can't see any gaps here at the middle joints, which is what we want. So hopefully that stainless stopped it from bonding between here and here, and we can just pop all this out. Oh, that actually doesn't look so good. Looking on end here, you can actually see the joint, which is a bit worrying. Oh, that's sick. That stainless worked so well to keep it separate. Yeah! Look at that beauty. Still not 100% convinced it's gonna be very strong, but let's grind it down, get through those TIG weld lines. Looks pretty good, but there are some faint lines at the joint. Question is, will this break apart? Will it be strong enough? I'm gonna heat it at forge welding temperature. The first thing I'm gonna do is whack it like this, use its own inertia to see if we can get some more pressure on those weld areas. Oh, it looks beautiful. That looks bad. That ain't good. See them cracks? Cool. Let it cool down. Very concerned about those cracks. It might fall apart. So I hardened the piece, tempered it, tried to get some bow out of it, and hopped on the surface grinder. Oh, crap, I forgot to hit record. Before going into a test etch. Now I did the hardening because it gets us a better contrast in finished etch, but test etch is unfortunately all I've got time for today. And the result is we can see the little flaws in the corners where the butt weld didn't stick. They stick out like a sore thumb in the etch. Nickel proves to be an utterly gorgeous addition to regular steel Damascus. It just pops like nobody's business. Even on that dirty etch, it just bow. Given that this is a pattern where you can't go forging it into a knife because you're going to distort it, I'm a bit unsure about exactly what this needs to become. With the special Damascus we made in a recent video, you guys sounded out in the comments with a phenomenal suggestion. So stay tuned for an epic video where we make something cool with that. And so I pose the question to you, what should we do with this planetary solar system Damascus, given the constraints of not being able to deform it Otherwise, we turn it into ovals. And given the constraint of the corners not being super strong, let me know down below. It's been a pleasure to have your time. I've run out of time for this video, which means it might just be the perfect time for you to build yourself a website. Check out today's sponsor at squarespace.com/forge. Appreciate you all. Bye-bye.